Hi everyone, in this video we are going to add stroke around text and objects, and even we're going to get a bit fancy with double strokes that have patterns in them. Alright, let's go and do that now in Photoshop. Hi there, to get started you can use the file that we've been working on or just work with any file. We'll start with adding stroke to the text and then an object and doing multiple strokes, all very exciting. So start with the all stars text. So I've got it selected here in my layers, make sure it's this light gray. And adding a stroke around the outside, use this little effects, little icon down the bottom, click on them and go to stroke. It's that easy. Now, yours is probably going to look nothing like mine. Mine remembers the last thing I did. Yours is probably going to be, whizzing through it there, black and like 1 point. So you might be looking at it and going, I can't even see it. It's a little bit hard to see, right? So grab the size, crank it up. And you can see in my case, it depends on what position yours is set to. I think it's probably by default set to center. I think so. So inside, okay, is the inside of the text. And you can kind of see when I get to this size, it's all on the inside of the font, outside and center. Okay, it straddles both sides of the outside of the text. In my case, I want outside. I'm gonna lower it down a little bit and I'm gonna pick a color. Okay, now you can pick a color from in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna hold anything down. I can just click out here anywhere and it picks colors from the document. Okay, so find something you like that maybe ties in with the background. That's gonna work for me. And I click OK. And yeah, that's adding stroke to text. Click OK. Say you really like it and you wanna do the same thing to the C Tailor here. What you can do is you can right click the layer. So I'm right clicking the word, not the icon or anything else, just the word All Stars, right click it. And there's this one here that says copy layer style. So that's what these things are called. This little button down the bottom here, it's called a layer style. Okay, all of these are layer styles. So right clicking it and saying copy layer style, okay, I've copied it. I can find the C layer, a C Tailor layer, okay, and right click him and say paste layer style. And along he comes for the ride. I don't like that, so I'm gonna go to edit undo, but that's the way to do that. Now you can add strokes to anything. We've done it for text, but you can do the same thing for objects. Okay, so this little rectangle here, I can right click and go to stroke and there's nothing different. Okay, I just add a stroke around it. The only thing you might notice is that it's kind of faded out. You're like, like it should be exactly the same sort of color as this, and the opacity is right up and it's not the same. It's because we actually lowered the opacity of this rectangle. Okay, earlier on in a previous course. You might not be following along in order, but all that's happened is, let's say I'm going to adjust this to be really big and pick up another color. Click OK. What's happening is, see this opacity here on this layer? So the layer selected, the opacity was set to 50. If I turn it back to its pure black color, that stroke comes back to life. And both of those things I hate, so I'm going to go to edit step backwards to get rid of the stroke. A better example would have been earlier on in the course. Remember we made these circles here. There's this one, okay, and I made a second one and expanded it out just so that I'd probably do that with an extra stroke around the outside. Earlier on in the course, I guess I want to stick to your current skill set, but now if I was redoing this, I would do a circle with a pink stroke around. Now let's go a little bit more advanced. Okay, so this All Stars layer here, I'm going to show you how to add more than one stroke. Okay, it's a handy trick and I'm going to show you some patterns and things. So with All Stars layer selected, I want to edit the stroke. Let's just say I want to edit it. No double strokes just yet. All you do is double click on this word here called stroke, not effects, double click on stroke. And I can go in here and just edit it if I like. Okay, so that's editing it. Also in here is the chance where I get to add more than one stroke. So there's a few of these layer styles that allow for an extra version of itself, or as many as you like actually. So stroke, inner shadow, there's a few of them you can have doubles of. So in this case, stroke, I want to hit this little plus button. Now I have two strokes. Now the trouble is that they're the same size and the same color, so they don't show over here. And what happens is it's a layer order like your layers over here. So the one on top gets seen first and covers this one underneath. So if I change the one underneath, watch this, and pick a different color, I was going to pick random color, nothing happens because it's hiding underneath this top one, which is this more peachy color. Okay, but there's one underneath, if I make it a bit bigger, go away, kind of pokes out the sides. So that's how to add double strokes. Now, I'd probably pick something, oh man, it's looking bad. Yeah, it's looking okay. I'm going to go a little bit further. Okay, double strokes is kind of advanced, but this next bit, I don't want to blow your brain, but I want to give you like there's some cool, easy enough tricks to do while you're here. If you've made it this far in the video, let's go a bit further. So where it says fill type, okay, we've done color, and that's the normal one. Gradient is as you imagined it, gradient. We looked at that in an earlier video. You click on this here to change the colors. But let's look at this one called pattern. It's quite cool. It's quite cool for this particular style here, this kind of like 70s basketball kind of thing. And you can see, I'm gonna zoom in over here, I've got this kind of like lines that run around the outside. Cool, and that's coming from this pattern. So you can change this pattern. There's some cool options in here. Straight lines, vertical lines, horizontal, squares, dots. Okay, there's lots of things in here. Those top ones are quite cool. All the rest of them are a little bit, I don't know. I wouldn't say lame. Lame's a bad word. These are lame. Okay, these two down here, they get like usable, whoa. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to this one here because I quite like it. You can play around with the scale of it. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. And what you'll notice is that, remember we had, this was actually a pink. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. So go back to color. Yeah, it was pink. So it was pink, and then I apply this pattern and it goes white, and you're like, yeah, what happened? It's basically where the pattern, see this pattern here has got a black line with a white outside. Now, we're not gonna go through how to make your own patterns in this video, okay, but basically, yeah, it's getting the white from this little square here. There's a thing we can do to get around that. We can go into the blend modes. We've looked at blend modes a little bit in the past. We haven't really gone into them hardcore. We'll do that later in the course, but it's just the way that this pattern is blending with the background. In this case, behind it is this green circle. So at the moment, it's not doing anything. It's just sitting on top normally. Dissolve never does anything, but then when you start getting into darken and multiply, can you see the different effects that are applying here? Okay, so have a little look through which one's gonna work for you in this case. I'm probably just gonna go to multiply. It is really hard to know what they're gonna do in these cases because, you know, it's not you, it's basically the top pattern, texture, and color mixing with the bottom pattern, texture, and color. And because those are always different, well, normally always different, every time you use something like Softlight, you'll be like, oh, it's different from the last time I used it. And that's not you, that's just part of Photoshop. So even me, I have to go through and go this painful kind of like, let's see what all these do. Okay, it is painful. Whoa, difference, it's kind of cool. So I'm gonna go back to multiply because that's what I kind of liked. And I'm gonna scale it down just a tiny bit, or up a big bit. Oh, I'm just messing around now. Yeah, that looks okay for me. All right, everyone, so that is how to create a layer style using the stroke. We've added multiple strokes, and we got even fancy with a pattern stroke. And remember, you can copy and paste them by right-clicking the layer, going copy, not paste, going copy, and then pasting it on a different text document or a cross document. Say it's a different completely document, open it up, paste it across, and it's a way of keeping consistent strokes and swooshy lines that you've spent some time making. All right, let's get into the next video now where we look at bevel and emboss, my absolute worst of the layer styles, but loads of people like them, so we're gonna do them together anyway. Let's go.